Hello everyone, this is Tabris92, here to bring you my Ghostrick deck profile. This is everything that my Primal Origins after, so let's get right into it. First up, 2 Ghostrick Steins. Searches out spells and traps, highest attack in the deck, great card. Ghostrick Mummy, you can normal summon or set an extra, so he's really good, especially set up to XD plays. 2 Ghostrick Ghouls, gives one monster all the combined original attack, and you can make some pretty big monsters. Very useful against Alucard, or with Alucard, because you can give Alucard a lot of attack, and he's the only one that can be attacked. So that's very useful. 3 Jiangxis, searches out every monster in the deck. No reason not to run it. Except for Crane Crane. Can't search out Crane Crane, but Crane Crane is the tech of my choice. I know most people like Tour Guide. However, it really sucks to draw both your Tour Guides. It just makes it useless, and I came up with that so much that I started using Crane Crane instead. I found that I could use it a lot better. So Crane Crane is my go-to for the instant rank 3s. Ghostrick Witch, 1's good enough, 2's kind of too many. Don't really need it as much as I used to. Instead of Ghostrick Witch, I started using more of Ghostrick Doll. Oh god, I love this card. When it's flipped face up, anything on the field by the end phase, anything face up, doesn't matter which side it's on, gets flipped down. And if it's 3 or more, you can summon anything. If it's 2, summon another doll, summon a witch. It's almost like it's a floater. You can even summon your level 1s if you just want to make a dual hand next turn, or you already have it set up to do so. It's fantastic. Jack Frost, he's like a Book of Moon. I love it. Only thing that is bad about it is it has to be a direct attack, so any face-up Ghostrick monsters at the time are vulnerable. So take that into mind, which is why I still use 2 Ghostrick Lanterns, mainly to protect my monsters, especially Alucard. Ghostrick Lantern will protect anything. You protect yourself if you have to, and this just should, like, Ghostrick Lantern just should be in the deck. 3 Ghostrick Marys, add so much consistency. You plus from taking damage, that's great, because as flawlessly as you play, at some point you're probably going to take at least a little bit of damage, although I have played a few games without taking any. And you can even just summon her to make dual hand if you have a pre-summoned Ghostrick Lantern or Frost. So 1 Terraforming. It's a deck that revolves heavily on the field spell, so why wouldn't you? 2 Pot of Dualities. Adds consistency, doesn't really affect you much because you rarely special summon as it is. You could use 3. I like 2 because down it gets foggy. Pot of Duality into a Pot of Duality is never fun. So 2's good for me. 2 MST. I would be citing a 3rd. It should be in there, but I guess I was fiddling around with it lately, so it's not. But I do cite a 3rd. Just because there's a lot of spells and traps you gotta watch out for. Traps mostly, Skill Drain and Royal Decree will just be a bad time. Swords of Concealing Light. 3 is too many. 2 is debatably too many for some people. I found that my balance of it is 2. It's perfect for me. Don't get it too often, don't get it not enough. I like it. One parade. I can't wait to get this thing in TCG. Next week it's coming out. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, and that's the key word, declare. When they declare an attack, you add a Ghostrick card from your deck to your hand. If you chain Parade's activation with a Jack Frost or a Lantern, you will negate the attack and plus off it. It's ridiculous. And you can even add Mary to your hand with Parade, and damage happens after the Mary goes to your hand, so you can still use Mary's effects too. So take that in mind if you're going to combo with it. You can also chain off Go Round and Scare, so that's also very good. Ghostrick Mansion. It's pretty necessary in this deck, although I've played without it a couple times. You know, sometimes you just don't get to have your field, but this thing will definitely almost ensure victory most of the time. But two needle feelings, 2's good, 3 is kind of too many. Destroys anything face up, must be 4 or more monsters on the field, which isn't exactly hard to accomplish. It happens so often. It's made for this deck, really. You keep all your stuff face down, destroys anything face up. It's like a lightning vortex. It's amazing. 2 Ghostrick Vanish. I cite a third. I don't know why it's not in there. I cite a third, especially for decks that are using a lot of mass destruction, especially Excite on Night. I know he's becoming really popular. Light Swarms, they do that goddamn JD field nuke and just go for OTK. Ghostrick out is, the Ghostrick Vanish is really useful against that. You'd be surprised how many people use JD's effect a few times before they realize that this turn it's just not going to happen. It's kind of funny. 2 Ghostrick Scares, disrupts plays, change monsters effects. It's great. I used 2 post Prio. I used 3 pre Prio, but after Primal Origins, I'm gonna bring up the 2 in my main deck. Ghostrick, Go Round, so versatile. Dodges skill drains, dodges so much. You can dodge a D-Prison with it. It's great. Great card to have. Ghostrick Knight. If they're face down and you have a face-up monster, face-up Ghostrick monster, they're staying down. And the turn it's destroyed, they can't declare an attack. So, it's pretty good. I don't rely on it too much though. Extra deck, yeah, I'm kind of citing this. I don't really use Stardust Dragon that much. I'm debating whether or not to cite Starlight Road. I don't know. Hasn't really seen much play. Downer Magician, I rarely use it, but it's in there nonetheless. If you're fighting without your field, it's great to have, but I like to keep my monsters out. I really want Alucard and Dual Hands effects to go off. I really want to keep Zen Mains out as long as I can. And this thing isn't really worth summoning if it doesn't have as much material as you can possibly get. Anomaly Crystal Alien, I never really used it. It's useful. In theory, I've just never really, it's not really proven much worth to me, but I'm keeping it in there just so I have the option. 2 Alucards. Summon both Alucards and you're in a very strong position. Destroy. Everybody knows what this card does. It's in a lot of decks now. I don't need to explain why Alucard's good. Triad Leviathan. Doesn't see much play, but it is useful nonetheless. Metcliff Engineer. This is a fairly decent stall. I would use his last material on something else besides him though. Zen mains. Pretty generic rank 3 stall card. Most people don't even attack Zen mains anymore, unless they can kill it that turn, which is great because it takes 3 attacks. And if it's face up and you have the field spell, then that means that everything is safe. So, Zen mains is great. Fortune Tune, kind of the same thing, has to be destroyed 3 times, essentially, and shuffles 2 level 3s from your grave to your deck, so great for recycling. Shuffles himself back into the extra deck too, so that's great. 2 Succubus, I do so much work with this card. I combine this thing with Ghoul or Dullahan and I can kill anything. It's amazing. I only use 2 because I can only I only use 1 because I can realistically only summon 1. Only having 1 witch and 2 dolls. 1 is just about realistic, and another one's not really gonna make that much of a difference. Gotchi, I don't really use Gotchi that much, but he's useful as well as attack bonus. Again, combos with Dullahan and Ghoul, because you might lose a little because you don't have a Ghostrick monster there, but he's a good wall. He buffs your monsters. He sees some play. Dullahan cuts in a monster's attack in half. What's not to love about that? And when he's destroyed, or when he's just sent to the graveyard, you add a card from your grave to your hand. So, hell, sometimes I just let Dullahan die. I don't even care. I just want him to retrieve a card for me. After he loses material, he's worthless to me, so. Slacker Magician, fairly decent wall, I guess. Has to be attacked a couple times. Easily made with Lantern and Jack Frost Mary. I don't really use it as much as I used to since I started using Dullahan, as Dullahan is far more versatile, but it's in there still anyway. Lionheart, I've never used this card. I've always wanted to. I've just never had the appropriate situation where I would need to. His effect is really good. I definitely recommend him, just in case the situation does ever come up. You're going to want it. I hope you enjoyed. This is my post-Primal Origins Ghostrick deck profile. Thank you for watching.